this is John. I'd like to show you what I'm trying to do at this little farm that I'm managing in Marandera. This farm has very sandy soils, and along the contours I have and would like to plant more Acacia siberiana trees as a means of cycling nitrogen into the surrounding soils. Here are some of the Acacia siberiana trees that I planted last year. They spaced about every 10 meters. And this picture is taken in October when we cleared around the trees because I was a bit scared of fire coming in and destroying them. And these trees have established fairly well. Last year was a good rainy season, so we've got quite a good establishment along a few of the contours. These trees, as you can see there, have got a number of branches. I'm going to trim these down to a single stem in the near future, as soon as the rains really settle in, so that we can guide them upwards into a large tall tree with a big canopy that will stretch over into the fields adjacently. Now, not all the contours are planted, so I want to plant some more, and I'll show you how I've done that. So what's important with acacia trees, from what I can understand, is that they have a soil environment that is suitable for their quick establishment and growth. So on a nearby land, there are a number of groves of Acacia siberiana trees, such as this one. And I went to this and I collected the litter underneath the trees. You can see this litter has a lot of residue in it, broken up leaves and pods mixed in with the soil. So I scraped off the surface, sort of 1 to 2 centimeters of this residue that was breaking down. And the reason I did this was I wanted to collect the microorganisms that have been adapted and are in association with the acacia roots. So I collected up this residue from this little grove and brought it to my offices here in Harare. At my office we weighed out about 16 kgs of this litter into a bag, and you can see it's nice and coarse litter from the surface of the acacia grove. And to this we added 5 kgs of mealie. This is to provide a source of carbohydrate and nutrients to the microbes that might be in that litter. We mixed that up and poured that into this bucket once it was well mixed. And to this we added half a liter of molasses mixed with 5 liters of water, and then we mix that nicely into the bucket so that we have a good mixture of the litter, mealie meal and molasses. I got this mix off the internet from some forest litter work that had been done in Latin America as a means of trying to multiply up the microorganisms that are in that litter, so that we can use this as an inoculum when we plant the acacia tree seedlings into the field. Once we'd mixed up the molasses, mealie meal and litter, we poured it into this bucket and pressed it down, not too hard, and then put the lid on it, and we left it for about a month. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it was in there for about a month. So it's a somewhat low aerobic environment, and the idea was that over this month we would have a great multiplication of the fungi, bacteria in that soil or in that litter. So after about a month, and when the rains had come, we took this bucket of this acacia litter mix to the field along with our acacia seedlings, and I'd like to just show you what this looked like after a month. So you can see this white mold that is growing on the surface there, This is the mycelium of fungi. I can't tell you what kind of fungi or from where it is, but it's obviously a fungus that is common in that litter. And this had a very nice texture, feel about it. It had a somewhat alcoholic smell, so I think it was more anaerobic than aerobic because we had sealed that bucket. So we probably don't have a great amount of aerobic bacteria and fungi in there, and this white mycelium was mostly on the top where there would have been more air available. So in the holes that we dug in the contour, we put in a handful of this mix of the litter and molasses brew as an inoculum. The whole idea is that when these little seedlings push out their roots, they will be encounter this inoculum of bacteria, fungi, and so on, and that would colonize the roots, hopefully, if they mycorrhizae fungi and the bacteria that are suitable, and encourage the growth of the seedlings. So here's a little seedling that I grew just in these little sleeves, and when you open up the seedlings, you can see the root growth is good. And if you notice that little white speck there, those white dots, those are nodules, nitrogen fixing nodules on the roots of the Acacia siberiana roots, and that's exactly what we want. We want these Acacia to be fixing nitrogen. Again, you can see on this one a lot of nodules. So we want them to be fixing nitrogen and cycling that nitrogen into and around the places where they are planted. And also as the litter falls from the leaves into the field, and potentially in the future when the pods drop, the cattle will pick up these pods and leaves and also distribute it. So here we are just simply transplanting these little saplings, these little seedlings into the soil. It was very nice and wet. We'd had a lot of good rain in the middle of November. So just pat that down, and then I put a grass mulch around the seedling to protect that seedling from evaporative loss of water, so they can get established nicely. So I was very happy with this establishment. We had very nice rain, so I'm confident that these are going to really take off and grow well this season. We will have to protect them a little bit from grass growth around them, so we will do a little bit of weeding around them so that they have the ability to grow well in the next few months of the season. So that's my little effort to try and establish this avenue of Acacia siberiana trees along the contours. I'm hopeful that this is going to serve the purpose of nitrogen cycling and providing better nutrition to the cattle and crops that we have on that little farm. So thank you for watching. All the best. Ciao now.